Have you ever felt like you're a walking contradiction? Like you're an old soul stuck in a modern world, deeply empathetic, but fiercely private. You want to help everyone around you, but being around people for too long just completely wipes you out. If that sounds familiar, you might just be one of the rarest personality types on the planet, the INFJ. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the world of the INFJ, also known as the Advocate. INFJs make up less than 2% of the population. So if you are one, you're genuinely rare. And if you have one in your life, consider yourself lucky, because that person is something special. So let's start with the basics. INFJ stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. 4 letters that, when you put them together, describe one of the most complex and fascinating personalities out there. Let's break each one down. First up, introverted. Now this doesn't mean INFJs are shy. Some are, sure, but that's not really the point. It's about energy. Extroverts get their energy from being around people. INFJs are the opposite. They recharge by being alone, by going inward, by having time to just think and breathe and process everything they've taken in. And here's the thing, INFJs have an incredibly rich inner world, like genuinely more interesting to them than most social situations. They can be warm and engaging and totally present in a conversation, but the moment they're alone again, there's this sense of relief. That quiet time isn't optional for them. It's necessary. So if you know an INFJ and they seem to disappear sometimes, that's not them being weird or antisocial. That's just how they refuel. Don't take it personally. Next, intuitive. INFJs are big picture thinkers. They're not really interested in just the surface facts of a situation. They're always asking, what does this mean? What's the pattern here? Where is this going? They connect dots that other people don't even notice are there. This is actually where their reputation for being almost psychic comes from. It's not some mystical thing, it's just that their intuition is incredibly sharp. They pick up on tiny cues in people's body language, tone of voice, word choices, and they process all of that subconsciously to get a deep read on what's really going on. Sometimes they'll just know something and they can't fully explain how. They just do. Then we've got feeling, and this is really the core of who an INFJ is. INFJs lead with their values. When they're making a decision, the first question isn't what's most logical? It's what's right, and how is this going to affect the people involved? That moral compass is always running in the background. And their empathy is on another level. They don't just sympathize with people. They actually feel what you're feeling. If you're hurting, they feel that hurt. If you're anxious, they pick up on it before you've said a word. It makes them incredible listeners, incredible friends, incredible counselors, but it also means they absorb a lot of emotional weight from the world around them, which is yet another reason why that alone time is so critical. And finally, judging. Quick note, this does not mean they're judgmental in a negative way. In the personality type world, judging just means they prefer structure and closure over chaos and open-endedness. They like to have a plan. They like to know what's happening, and when last-minute changes stress them out, and unresolved situations sit in their head like a song that won't end. This is what makes INFJs more than just dreamers. The judging side gives them the ability to actually do something with all that vision and empathy. They don't just imagine a better world. They make a plan to build one. That's the thing about INFJs, they're idealists. Yes, but they're also doers. Put all 4 of those traits together and you get someone who is, honestly, a walking paradox. Quiet but opinionated. Emotional but strategic. Creative but organized. They're dreamers with a plan, and that combination is incredibly rare. One of the most defining things about INFJs is how deeply they feel about right and wrong. They have this strong inner compass that's always pointing toward what they believe is just and good. And when they commit to a cause, watch out. They will pursue it with a level of passion and persistence that's honestly kind of awe-inspiring. Think about figures like Martin Luther King Jr. or Nelson Mandela, both often typed as INFJs. People who had a clear moral vision and gave everything to it. That same quality exists in INFJs at every level, in every kind of life. It might not always be on a world stage, but the drive is the same. The flip side of all that idealism, though, is that reality can hit really hard. The world is messy and unfair and often deeply frustrating, and INFJs feel that friction intensely. When things don't change as fast as they should, or when people they believed in let them down, it can lead to real periods of disillusionment and withdrawal. It's one of the quieter struggles that a lot of INFJs carry. When it comes to relationships, INFJs do not do shallow. They have zero interest in surface-level small talk just for the sake of it. What they want, what they genuinely crave, is real connection. The kind where you can say what you actually think and feel and not worry about being judged for it. Finding that kind of connection isn't easy, and for INFJs it can feel like a lifelong search. But when they do find it, a close friend, a partner, someone who truly gets them, they pour everything into that relationship. They're the kind of person who remembers what you said 3 months ago, who shows up when it matters, who listens in a way that makes you feel genuinely heard. But here's what makes them tricky to get to know. They have layers. On the outside, they often seem calm and composed. Inside, there's a whole universe of thoughts and feelings running constantly. They don't let just anyone in. Trust has to be earned. It takes time, but once you're in, you're in. An INFJ in your corner is one of the most loyal, perceptive, supportive people you'll ever have. One thing to know though, INFJs tend to see the best in people, sometimes way past the point they should. They give chances and then more chances because they believe in people's ability to grow. That's a beautiful quality, but it also leaves them open to being taken advantage of by people who don't reciprocate that level of care. Which brings us to one of the biggest challenges INFJs face, the people-pleasing trap. Because their empathy is so strong, they feel other people's discomfort almost as if it's their own. So saying no, disappointing someone, setting a limit, that can genuinely feel painful, and so they say yes to everything. And then they crash. Learning to set boundaries is honestly one of the most important things an INFJ can do for themselves. Not just as a nice idea, but as a survival skill. You cannot keep giving from an empty cup. An INFJ who has burned themselves out helping everyone else isn't helping anyone, including the people they care most about. So, it's okay to say no. It's okay to put your own needs on the list. It's not selfish. It's what makes everything else possible. Now let's talk about something INFJs are pretty well known for, the door slam. Here's how it works. An INFJ is patient. They're understanding. They give people the benefit of the doubt over and over. But if someone keeps hurting them, keeps taking them for granted, keeps betraying their trust, there's a point where something just quietly shifts. And when that shift happens, it's done. No dramatic fight, no long explanation. Just a quiet, final decision to remove that person from their life completely. To outsiders, it can look sudden or even cold, but for the INFJ, it was a long time coming. It's not about revenge or punishment, it's about self-preservation. They've decided the relationship is doing more harm than good, and they're protecting themselves. It's one of the hardest things they do. In the workplace, INFJs need to feel like what they're doing actually matters. A job that's just about hitting targets with no real human impact will slowly drain the life out of them. They're drawn to careers in counseling, education, writing, the arts, advocacy, anything where they can use their empathy and insight in service of something meaningful. They work best in environments that are collaborative and respectful, not cutthroat and political. They have high standards for themselves and for the people around them, and they can get quietly frustrated when that's not matched. But when they're genuinely passionate about a mission, they're some of the most quietly powerful people in the room. They lead through example, through vision, and through making everyone around them feel like they matter. So if you've got an INFJ in your life, here are a few things that will genuinely make a difference. Give them space. Not as a punishment, not because something's wrong, just because that's how they're wired. Don't take it personally. Actually listen to them. Ask about their ideas, their dreams, what's going on inside their head. They spend so much time listening to others that it means everything when someone turns that around. Be real with them. Seriously, they will see through any performance you're putting on, so just be yourself. And appreciate them. A simple, genuine thank you, or I see how hard you're working, does more for an INFJ than you probably realize. They give a lot quietly, and they rarely feel seen for it. And if you're an INFJ, this last part is for you. Embrace who you are. All of it. The depth, the intensity, the sensitivity, that's not too much. That's the whole point of you. Don't let anyone convince you that you feel too deeply or care too much. The world genuinely needs people who feel things the way you do. Protect your energy. Set your limits. Find the creative outlets that let you get what's inside you out into the world. Write it, paint it, make it, say it, and be patient with yourself. You see how good things could be, and it's hard when the gap between that and reality feels too wide. But your quiet, consistent presence is already making a difference. More than you know. You are the advocate, the counselor, the dreamer and the doer. The world can feel like it wasn't built for people like you, but it is absolutely better because you're in it.